Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news. We've got quite a lot of interesting news popping about. We've got front of shirt sponsorship news, concrete news coming out. I don't know, some of you guys might like it. Me personally, look, at the end of the day, if the club's not bothered, why should we as a fan base be so bothered about it? So we're going to talk about the front of shirt sponsorship. It is a little bit tricky, Clear Lake doing some Clear Lake business behind the scenes. So we'll talk about that. We have some information in regards to Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto just finished playing against Azerbaijan. France versus Azerbaijan, and Malo Gusto absolutely had a fantastic game. I didn't watch it, but I saw some of the footage online and the stats that he's put up. So we're going to talk about that, how that will be such a great impact for us, post this international break. Malo Gusto hopefully will come back with a lot of confidence, and this player is going to mean a lot. And we've got another young kid from Brazil that we're looking to perhaps purchase. So we'll talk about that. I have no idea who this kid is, but something that you guys all need to be aware of course. And some of you guys might even be able to tell me in the comment section who this kid is. But we're going to start things off with Estevao William, ladies and gentlemen. Huge praise coming out from Don Carlo Ancelotti, one of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest coaches of all time. No doubts about that. Carlo Ancelotti coming out and praising this kid in a manner that, honestly, I don't think Carlo Ancelotti just publicly comes out and just praises players like this. For him to do this for Estevao William, what a sensational talent he is. I just pray, honestly, I put my two hands together and I pray that this kid stays fit. I think I've got no issues about him being, stop. If he ever stops being humble, I don't have any issues about that. I think he's very well grounded. I think he's got some lovely people around him. Obviously, his parents and his entourage, whoever they are, his friends, they keep him well grounded. He's, a religious person as well. I believe he, has a big focus on the spiritual side of things. And I think all of these things, it's really helping Estevao to ensure that he stays grounded, because this kid, the amount of praise he's getting and the amount of praise he's got over the last 6 months is incredible. And for him to just stay the way he is, smiling, not getting cocky, not letting things just get to his head, is incredible. And amount of man of the match performances as well. Yesterday against Senegal, once again, man of the match performance. I've lost count now. Every other time he goes to international duty for Brazil, he picks up a man of the match performance. Every other time he's picking up a man of the match performance for Chelsea as well when he's performing. Someone let me know, how many man of the match performances has Estevao dropped in the last 6 months? It's incredible. All right, we're going to start things off from here. This is what Ancelotti had to say, Carlo Ancelotti. With Estevao, Brazil has a guaranteed future. Do you know how massive that is? Like, for Carlo Ancelotti, with the caliber of players Brazil has, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Rafinha, Carlo Ancelotti literally coming out and saying, with Estevao, Brazil has a guaranteed future. They do. As I said, as long as Estevao stays fit and healthy, he's a huge factor for Chelsea and for Brazil. Brazil in the World Cup, they'll be looking at Estevao. I know one Neymar, he's trying to do everything possible to make it into the team. And I hope Neymar does. This World Cup needs Neymar. But he's got a long way to go before he can, burst into Carlo Ancelotti's team. He's doing well, though, in recent times. But even if Neymar comes in, and don't get me wrong, Neymar is going to be the headline superstar, no doubts about that. But Estevao William is one of their key players. 18-year-old moving into his first World Cup as a key player for Brazil. Huge, huge deal for him. Huge deal for the country. Huge deal for the fan base. Massive. The amount of talent he has is incredible. Estevao has incredible amount of talent. It is a surprise this level at his age. He's good at finishing, has a lot of magic, and he works very hard. He truly does work hard. One thing I hope for Estevao William is that with such a talented player at such a young age, I hope, down the track he doesn't burn out. I hope he can prolong a long period of career. I hope he can prolong his career as far as he can. And that, he doesn't go through his peak at the age of 21, 22, 23, and then fizzle out. I hope he somehow finds longevity. But let's enjoy what he's able to do for us right now. Let's enjoy the development and let's enjoy the success. Hopefully he's going to bring for both Brazil and for Chelsea Football Club. Most importantly for us Chelsea Football Club. So yeah, big up to Estevão William, and some fantastic comments coming from Carlo Ancelotti. Estevão William, man of the match as well. And as I said, for Carlo Ancelotti to say those kind of things, incredible. He carries on. Furthermore, Carlo Ancelotti on Estevão. I saw him play at Chelsea. The thing is, he doesn't need a lot of minutes to show his quality. He can play 5 minutes and you can see his quality. Brazil is lucky to have him, and also Chelsea 100%. We're lucky. A lot of people are like, now we need to see Estevão William start. Trying to put pressure on Enzo Maresca and say, hey, enough's enough. He needs to start both Champions League and in the Premier League. Look, the way I see it, Enzo Maresca has dealt with this situation brilliantly. And I've got full faith on Enzo Maresca to continue the right way, whatever that is. If he thinks that he's ready to start on a regular basis in the Premier League, no problems. I would have loved to have seen him start against Wolves at Stamford Bridge. At Stamford Bridge, I want him to start because the home fans are coming and paying the money to watch this kid dazzle the field. So we'll see what happens. I expect him to be a prominent starter very, very soon. Maresca has alluded to that as well, that it's soon he's going to start every single game. But we have to also be careful. He's 18 and that we don't burn him down to the ground. There's so much football to be played that we have to trust Enzo Maresca the way he's carrying things out. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, there were some links in Spain between Vini and Chelsea, but the director of Chelsea is different. There is zero links between Rodrigo and Vinicius to Chelsea because of Chelsea's salary structure. Remember the Osimhen deal of 2024? When you mention Chelsea signings, the salary is really important. Chelsea direction is Cole Palmer, Estevão William, other new signings like Ordonez coming from Fabrizio Romano. This is why I say, whenever you see links between Chelsea and Vinicius and Rodrigo and all the others, these sort of stuff, guys, be realistic. I know we'd love to see links of these players with Chelsea Football Club. Of course we do. But ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, these things are not going to happen. One, the transfer fee is going to be incredible. And two, the salary. We don't pay those wages anymore. Whether you like it or not, that's a separate story. Because that, you're upset with the ownership, the direction they're going. And that in itself is a bigger issue, right? If you want it to be an issue. Me personally, I feel like the squad's fairly good. We've got good experience now. They've been playing for a while. We've got some very, very good players. And right now, every now and then it does bother me that, I wish we could have gone for that player. But that player's going to ask for XYZ money. And that does bother me. Don't get me wrong. That does. But right now we're in a situation where we've got quality. We do. We lack quality in certain areas, but I'm backing the ownership and I'm backing the directors to make the right decisions come the transfer windows that are going to be coming in the future in terms of January and summer and whatnot. The team is not a bad team. It does annoy that we don't get these type of players linked up. But in the future, these type of players will be finding them well ahead of time. And this is the project, basically, finding those gems before they become Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo and so on and so forth. Chelsea, and here we go. Here's another one. Chelsea are closely tracking midfielder Felipe Morais, 17 and sent an 8.6 million tester waters offer to Cruzeiro. I hope I pronounced that right. The player has a 85 million release clause coming from Sport Witness via that source. 85 million release clause, and we're testing the water with 8.6 million. I mean, look, I understand it. I get it. 17 years old. Even 8.6 million is probably a lot of money. But this kid has an 85 million release clause. If someone knows who this player is, not yet another Brazilian, we are locked in with South America. Independiente of Ecuador, almost every club in Brazil, We're monitoring Argentina as well. South America is a huge deal for us. I won't be surprised if our owners end up buying a club very, very soon, imminently, to be part of our sister club model, multi-club model. But let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if you know anything about Felipe Morais, 17-year-old. We're looking to perhaps, look at the acquisition of this player. And at this moment, as I said, I'm not even too peeved off about these sort of things anymore because, it's been fruitful. Estevao William, Andre Santos, Cole Palmer, we bought a lot of young players, and a lot of them, yes, some of them didn't work out. And that's what's going to happen. Not every single one of them is going to work out. David Dutro Fofana, Cesare Cassidy. The list goes on. There's many more. But out of all of that, some will definitely work out and some will potentially become world-class. Now, ladies and gentlemen, front of shirt sponsorship, Chelsea times Oracle front of shirt sponsorship. 1, Clear Lake would invest in Oracle. So get this straight. Clear Lake has already got relationship with Oracle, right? I think Oracle, they're part of the Clear Lake investments and whatnot. So Clear Lake would then in return invest in Oracle. Oracle, number 2, Oracle will then gain access to Chelsea sponsorship assets and a broad portfolio of Clear Lake Capital companies to implement its own software solutions. So Oracle obviously feels like that they're in software solution industry. And number 3, in return, it will pay X amount in sponsorship for Chelsea. This comes from Luke Lass, who's been providing all of these sponsorship news. Bottom line here, ladies and gentlemen, Clear Lake is the one who's funding the sponsorship. Now, I'm pretty sure this will be scrutinized. I'm pretty sure this will be looked into deeply, because how close can you be with a sponsor? But I'm sure Chelsea would have done all their homework before they get into this situation. I know a lot of people are annoyed that what's going on. Ultimately, it's us who are sponsoring us, because Clear Lake are sponsoring Oracle. Oracle then have promised that they will invest or be a sponsor of Chelsea, but ultimately, it's all coming from Clear Lake. Clear Lake's investing on Oracle. Oracle in return will become the sponsor of Chelsea Football Club. So, some people are upset about it in the fan base, what's going on. Me personally, if it doesn't bother Chelsea Football Club, why should it bother me? The sad part is, why can't we get ourselves, a proper front of shirt sponsor like the ones that we've linked with, all of these airlines and aviation industry companies and whatnot? Why can't we be linked with one of them? But maybe next season, this season, maybe some of these companies are just seeing, how consistent Chelsea can be. Because this is why it's very important to have a top season. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about front of shirt sponsorship, Chelsea times Oracle. It seems like an in-house arrangement with Clear Lake Capital. Whether this becomes a problem down the track, we shall see. But as I said, I think Chelsea would have done all of the homework possible. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, 2 assists for Malo Gusto on his return to Baku against Azerbaijan. Look, this is huge. 2 assists, and he had a goal disallowed as well. I hope he brings this confidence back to Chelsea Football Club, which I'm sure he will. In recent times, he's actually been very good for us. I know he's had some nonsense moments as well, but overall, he's actually been very good. Tactically, he's a very important player for Enzo Maresca. If he can now start to add goals and assists on top of all of those stuff that he's been doing recently for Chelsea, fantastic. Because he gets into some very tasty positions when he's representing Chelsea Football Club. Whether it's inverted into midfield, whether it's in the half space as a number 10, whether it's out wide, he's getting into some tasty situations. Add goals and assists to that, oof. It becomes a bit of a cheat code, much like Cucurella last season. And defensively, he's been doing well as well. So big up to Malo Gusto for being able to do all of that. And I think that is the latest, ladies and gentlemen, in everything that's going on. Let me know your thoughts about all the news that we've gone through, especially in regards to the Front of Shirt sponsorship, Estevao Willian, and the young kid that we're looking to target and buy. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, take care. See ya.